As we enter 2021 and the PS5 is officially in the wild, well, sort of, it's time to take a look at the state of Sony's first-party studios. The launch of the PS5 brought with it a host of new PlayStation exclusive games, but the stable of PlayStation studios has plenty more in store. One quick note though, we're specifically discussing internal, first-party owned studios. So no third-party exclusives or second-party games, think Lucid's Destruction All-Stars for PS5, will be included. But from recently released hits like The Last of Us Part 2 and Ghost of Tsushima to impending exclusives like Horizon Forbidden West and Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart, let's take a look at what every PlayStation studio has in the works. Bend Studio finally released its post-apocalyptic thriller and motorbike simulator Days Gone in 2019. Set in the Pacific Northwest, Bend's open-world adventures introduced us to Freaker Hordes, Boozman, and Deacon St. John, while also, spoilers, possibly tying into a beloved Bend franchise into this world. And the studio continues to support with performance patches, free weekly challenges, and wackier DLC options like a Death Stranding themed bike. And it's even got improved performance on PS5 with frame rates up to 60 frames per second. The studio has since been recruiting for a new project, but has revealed no details on it just yet.
Gotta ask you something. What does it matter if everyone else is dead?
Guerrilla Games pivoted away from Killzone and debuted Horizon Zero Dawn, the 2017 hit that introduced PlayStation 4 owners to a world of fascinating robotic beasts to fight in an intriguing new land. The studio then released a big expansion to Horizon the Frozen Wilds later that year. Since then, the studio also released Horizon on PC as one of the first major PS4 exclusives from a Sony first party to make the jump to another platform. And alongside the reveal of the PS5, Horizon Forbidden West was one of the initial big first-party exclusives announced for the new system. Set tentatively for a release in the second half of 2021, Forbidden West continues Aloy's journey, introducing new enemies, locations, and mysteries to uncover. No gameplay has been shown just yet, but if Forbidden West is still set for this year, we should hopefully see some soon before it hits PS4 and PS5 later this year.
If I falter, if I fail, there won't be anyone left to stop what's coming.
Since becoming a first-party studio early last year, Insomniac has already been one of the more prolific studios in the lineup. Following up on its massive success with 2018's Marvel's Spider-Man, Insomniac debuted its sequel Marvel's Spider-Man Miles Morales on both PS4 and on PS5 as a launch game. Alongside that, the developer also brought Marvel's Spider-Man Remastered to PS5, bringing a next-gen look and feel to the beloved original PS4 game. As if that wasn't enough, Insomniac has one more launch window PS5 game in the works, Ratchet and Clank Rift Apart. Rift Apart promises reality-hopping gameplay made possible by the PS5's SSD, and is easily one of the most anticipated PS5 games in the first half of 2021. And though it's not officially announced, let's be real, there is so much evidence, thanks to a lot of post-credit scenes, that Insomniac is not done with their Spider-Man universe.
Whenever you say Spider-Man, you always mean the other one. You're Spider-Man.
Sony's Japan studio has been quite prolific, either developing or co-developing plenty of games in just the life of the PS4 alone. From work on Knack to The Last Guardian to PSVR Breakout Astro Bot Rescue Mission to most recently co-developing Everybody's Golf on PSVR, Japan studio has been involved in a lot of major Sony first-party titles, and the Asobi team within the studio delivered at the PS5's launch with Astro's Playroom. It may have seemed like just a free pack-in, but Asobi's ingenuity transformed the bundled PS5 game into an incredible showcase for what the DualSense can do. We don't know too much about what the studio has coming up next, but I'd expect it to be nothing short of a varied mix of PS4, PS5, and maybe some PSVR games to come. There's also some uncertainty about what projects may be in the works, given that three major Sony Japan devs, Junya Okura, Kazunobu Sato, and Silent Hill and Gravity Rush creator Kichiro Toyama recently left the studio. But given the acclaimed success and promise of more to come from Astro, hopefully a larger scale game could be in the works from the Asobi team. London Studio has contributed both the PS4 release SingStar Celebration and the PSVR title PlayStation VR Worlds to Sony's current-gen output, and most recently the really great PSVR action-adventure Blood and Truth. London Studio has continued to support Blood and Truth with post-launch content updates. We don't know what London Studio is working on afterwards, but given the strong reception and Sony's commitment to PSVR, I'd hopefully expect more PSVR outings from the studio.
Ryan, are you sure about this?
Get me underneath! Closer! Closer!
No!
After introducing the world to Little Big Planet on the PS3 in 2008, the infinitely creative Media Molecule gave us Tearaway for the PlayStation Vita, which got a port to the PS4 in 2015, and most recently released Dreams for PS4. And Media Molecule's creation suite has allowed players' ingenuity to run wild, and turn out a continuous stream of impressive games, music videos, and short films. Media Molecule has continued to support Dreams and its community, making it one of the most exciting and creative products in PlayStation's first-party lineup.
We'll make it. Me and you.
During the life of the PS4, Naughty Dog put out a handful of incredible games, including The Last of Us Remastered, Uncharted 4: A Thief's End, Uncharted The Lost Legacy, and most recently, The Last of Us Part 2. After a few delays, The Last of Us Part 2 released to critical and commercial acclaim in mid-2020, and Naughty Dog has continued to support free post-launch updates. The company has no newly announced projects, but as far as we know, it is quietly plugging away at some form of Factions, The Last of Us' multiplayer mode that was supposed to return in some way in Part 2, but was later removed from the sequel's release due to the increasing scope of the single player.
I'm gonna find, and I'm gonna kill every last one of them.
Pixel Opus most recently released Concrete Genie, the beautiful action-adventure game that gave players the power of a magical paintbrush, and it debuted in 2019. And we don't know what's next for the studio. Pixel Opus is definitely one of Sony's smallest internal studios, but Concrete Genie showcased big creative ambitions, a knack for some charming art and storytelling, and a unique gameplay idea that still felt like it could hold its own against Sony's bigger games. The Sony studio Polyphony gave us Gran Turismo Sport during the PS4's life, and has been busy providing content updates and patches to the game since its launch in 2017. Unsurprisingly, the studio continues to work on the acclaimed racing sim franchise, and Gran Turismo 7 was announced for the PS5 last year. Though it has no exact release date, a Sony advertisement teasing upcoming PS5 games hinted at a 2021 release. Whether it remains on track is unclear at this time, but it's no surprise that Sony's newest console will also be home to one of its longest-running franchises. San Diego studio released MLB The Show 20 last year, the latest in its annual baseball hit series, and MLB The Show 21 is unsurprisingly probably on the way next from the studio. Though a not too recent announcement indicated that future MLB The Show installments could come to non-PlayStation home consoles as early as 2021, there's been no indication of whether this year's MLB will actually kick off that trend. God of War, IGN's best game of 2018 and a huge evolution for the long-running Sony franchise, was Sony Santa Monica's latest game, and unsurprisingly, the studio has more God of War on the way. Very little is known about the upcoming sequel other than a brief teaser trailer released last year and the tagline, "Ragnarok is coming." And while we're still largely in the dark about Kratos' continuing adventures through Norse mythology, we do know that it's planned for a 2021 release. Additionally, the studio is working on an unannounced game and has been recently hiring for it.
Can you kill something that big?
Sucker Punch's long-awaited new franchise, Ghost of Tsushima, debuted as the fastest-selling new IP of the PS4 generation for Sony, and while Sucker Punch has supported its release with patches and PS5 performance updates, the studio also surprised fans with an unexpected post-launch multiplayer mode. Ghost of Tsushima Legends surprised and delighted fans with a new take on Ghost combat with up to 4 players taking on missions, including a raid, together. Sucker Punch hasn't revealed what's to come after Tsushima and Legends, but given the impressive success and reception of both the single-player and multiplayer components, we wouldn't be surprised if Jin Sakai returned in the future.
You and I are both survivors.
I am samurai.
No, you are more than that. You are the ghost.
We don't have full details just yet, but another team within Sony's first-party stable is assembling. While the San Diego-based studio has been the subject of rumors and speculation for years, we've gotten one of our best bit of information on them yet just recently. Michael Mumbauer worked as the head for the unnamed studio until November 2020. And in his LinkedIn profile description, we can glean that the studio is, quote, a brand new all-star AAA action-adventure development team for PlayStation. Based in San Diego and utilizing proprietary engine technology, this team was assembled to expand upon existing franchises and craft all new stories for the next generation of gamers. Older rumors suggested that the new team is working to continue the Uncharted franchise, but as of right now, that's just speculation and Sony has yet to confirm any plans for this new team. Of course, when we hear more about this studio or any of Sony's other first-party teams, you can be sure to read and watch about it on IGN. And of course, for more on everything happening in the world of PlayStation, be sure to check out our latest episode of our weekly PlayStation show, Podcast Beyond, for more. And for everything else on PlayStation, you're already in the right place, IGN.